So my sense is that in the last 12 months, I struggle to believe that Nielsen has ever had a busier period. There is so much change happening.
Yeah.
Tell us about your last 12 months. What have been the big priorities? What have you been spending your time on?
Wow. Well, clearly always commercials, making sure that we get our books closed and make our clients happy and feed back to the organization what our clients are looking for. Spend a lot of time with clients and try to understand what their growing needs are, because they're changing all the time and the pressure is building up for them. On top of that, we've had a new CEO come in at the end of last year. He went through some organizational change in the beginning of the year, and like anything internally, it takes a long time to do and a lot of effort to settle the team down and make sure that that runs smoothly. And of course, our company is going through a strategic review, and like anything, it's a lot of work and a lot of people involved in doing that work while continuing to service clients. So it has been an incredibly busy last 12 months.
So tell us why. My sense is there seems to be a lot of change in the world of measurement and data.
Yeah.
And that's to some extent reflected in some of the big transactions and ownership structures of some of your peers. What's going on? Why is there so much change at the moment?
I think it's become more difficult. The consumer is changing, the world is becoming more fragmented. If you're not moving with that time, if you're moving too far ahead of it or too far behind it, then you tend to miss out, or you're investing in technology that becomes obsolete very quickly. So staying at the heartbeat of the entire ecosystem is something that gives you a competitive advantage or not. So we see some surge ahead in some areas and some fall behind. What we do is just focus on our core business, which is to provide currency measurement, who saw it and how many times they saw it across platforms, and do it across 38, 40 countries around the world, and keep it to the highest standard that the industry relies on, and keep our blinkers on and focus on that. And then on top of that, go into new areas like addressable advertising, again, at the right time, not too early, not too late. And all of the marketing effectiveness type research that marketing clients and agencies need in terms of multi-touch attribution and mix modeling, and our marketing cloud that gives us an identity graph, and all of those things that are important to stay ahead. And if you're not staying ahead, you'll find that pretty quickly clients move on.
So from a measurement and currency point of view, my sense is that we're in a transitional period. I don't think anyone believes we're at the end point.
No.
We're on a journey. When you look at your roadmaps, do you have a sense of when that journey finishes and what it looks like? Where are we trying to get to? Is there light at the end of the tunnel?
The journey never finishes, but the good thing is that we don't admire that problem. We push ahead and solve it. And what a lot of the industry does is they can get fixated on things that actually don't move the needle. And so what we do is bring it back to the basics. What we've been focusing on is making sure that those basics, that core source of truth, is absolutely 100% correct, which is how many people saw it and how many times they saw it. Unless you get that right, you can't do anything else. You can't provide any value-added metrics on top. So we call that difference between currency and measurement. And measurement is all about sort of forward-looking and proving yourself as a media owner to be able to demand price.
And I guess obviously because Nielsen is so intimately involved in so many of the industry currencies, you're kind of aware that some of those currencies are under pressure. I see lots of interesting change and developments in that space.
Yeah.
But are you broadly optimistic about the future of the industry currencies, or do you think they will come under increasing pressure unless they really change the way they function?
Well, I actually see things coming back to the more simple, what I said before. If you look at the digital players, they want to compete. Video is video. So we don't think about linear TV or digital video. We see video as video and premium video as video. What we know is that the TV landscape, the traditional TV landscape, has always based their buying and selling or the way in which they talk about their audience is in the same common currency. What we actually see now happening is that the digital first players and the digital platforms for premium video have decided that all of the data that they have is just confusing the advertiser. So they want to compete against TV, and so they're moving across to be able to compare to TV.
So Nielsen's obviously a global business.
Yeah.
You work across hundreds of markets. How much variation do you see across those markets in terms of what bodies are asking you, in terms of what media owners on the buy side are asking for?
Yeah. Well, they are uniform. So we measure currency in about 40 markets, and it's the same thing. There are nuances. So in a lot of the markets around the world, they measure content.
Yeah.
So they trade on content versus the US that trades on ads. We also find that in some markets, we can't take sort of the bigger, more expensive or premium model that we do in the US and translate it to a market like Indonesia or India. We have to make sure that while we keep it consistent, we're doing it in such a way that's affordable to the market that we're entering into, or where we measure currency. So the good thing is it's standard and uniform in most cases, but the way in which we do it can vary.
How do you see the costs of measurements changing over the next few years? It's one of those constant bugaboos of the industry. But again, I think there are some very promising experiments with very different approaches at the moment.
Did you say costing? Cost? Look, it's, the way that we would view the cost of measurement is, it is a cost of research. So it often gets sort of confused at this tax, if you like, that my ratings are a tax on my spend. It's actually a research investment, and more of our clients are seeing it like this. And the reason why this is incredibly important today is that clients need research more than ever. It's becoming more and more competitive, and so to get ahead, they need to understand what's going on in the marketplace, how they're performing, and how they're performing as compared to others. Not just the rating, not just what their score was overnight. It's an investment in their future.
It's the oil that makes the media machine work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quick question, you said that you spend a lot of time talking to clients over the last 12 months. What are the most advanced clients asking for? What new capabilities are they looking you to bring to market?
Yeah, well, they're looking for audience-based buying and some help inside of their platforms around audience-based buying. So they're looking for source of truth beyond age and gender, and how they can get to a standard in that area. They're looking for planning tools where everything can come together, and particularly those that are automated and can go into their audience-based buying platforms. And then they're looking for measurement on the other side. So it's a planning, it's an activation, and it's a measurement type ask, as opposed to just measurement, which is what it was before. The media owners now are playing at top of the funnel and bottom of the funnel. They have a big TV screen that they're able to use for linear advertising, one-to-many, but they move down the funnel to almost direct response at the bottom, which is a one-to-one advertising model, and all the way down that advertising set of advertising models. They're looking for insights, they're looking for planning, they're looking for activation and measurement.
Fascinating. Final quick question. What are you most excited to see at Cannes this year? Is there anything you're really looking forward to?
Yeah, look, I think I'd love to see the advertising that's being shown, the best of. I always find that incredibly empowering, exciting. And what I also love about that is that advertising is not dead, is that consumers love advertising, and that good advertising, really special advertising that is premium, is something that we all actually really enjoy seeing.
I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you, Megan.